Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims Garage for another episode of The Grind. And yes, we have been grinding away here, and as you can tell, we have opened up a few additional levels, a few different options is what I'm trying to say here this morning. And we are at level number 21, 14,213 XP points on our way to 15,000 for the next level. That would be level 22. We do have $204,000 in the bank. We have been leveling away, grinding away at getting up in the levels and up in the XP and everything and up in the cash. And so we've got 3 cars here that we're going to potentially consider doing today. We're going to go ahead and move this car. Nope. We're going to go ahead and move this car over to our test path and check it out. And I can't remember if I've showed you the test path or not, but it's basically behind these 2 red doors, and we come into this area. I think I did. Anyway, you click on any of this machinery in here. It all does the same thing, and click yes to do the test path. The vehicle will start up, and then basically you're following the instructions in the upper left hand corner. We want to place the wheels on the brake tester, so we drive forward using our W key, and then we brake with our S key, and then it will tell us to move forward to place the rear wheels on the brake tester, and we're holding the brakes down and it's doing its thing. And then we'll drive forward and it will shake the car all about and test the front suspension, like so. And then we'll drive forward and park it on the rear suspension tester, or park it on the suspension tester so it can test the rear suspension. And then we'll get an update here of everything that's going on here with the car. We can click close, and not a lot of information there was known. We'll escape out, and then we'll go ahead and move this car. Again, clicking the wrong option, we will move this car over to our lifter A. Alright, so basically, yes, I have opened up additional parts in the garage here. We actually have an additional lifter and additional space, so we could basically have 4 cars in the garage at a time. Technically, I suppose 5 if you wanted to move one into the test path and let it sit there and let it wait for you to come and work on it. I suppose that's fine. And also here on our XP chart, I have sort of been picking and choosing. I have skipped some of these testing elements here just because I am really trying to reach level 30. Level 30 is when pretty much everything gets opened up to us with regards to the ability to repair body damage, as well as our paint booth and all of that stuff gets opened up to us. And so that's really what I'm looking forward to, because quite unfortunately I may not enjoy the grind as much as I enjoy the restoration piece of it, and it does sort of wind me up just a little bit when I'm repairing or putting parts back on a car, like a brake job or something, and I'm only able to put some new parts back on it. Okay, so this is a Luxor Bowen, or otherwise known as a 69 Cadillac DeVille from what I understand. It has some brake system issues and some loud exhaust issues. So let's go ahead and take a look under the hood and see if we can figure out anything that might be going on with the brake situation here under the hood. We definitely see some of the exhaust problems, but I don't really see anything under the hood that could be causing problems with the brake system. So we're going to just go ahead and exit out. And as a matter of fact, before we consider exiting out, let's take a look at these manifolds for the exhaust problem. And they look fine too. I mean, considering that this car is pretty much a rust bucket anyway, you know, you just kind of have to look and see, well, what is the most rusted on the car, and that's kind of where I generally choose to start. So we'll go ahead and start by taking the wheels off this car, and I have increased the XP, or increased the skill points, to get some faster tool operation, so that's going to certainly help us as we continue to grind through the work here that needs to be done. Sometimes I can move around like this. Sometimes it's just as easy to just go ahead and get back down more or less to the ground there and walk to where I need to go. But yeah, we'll go ahead and strip all the brake stuff off, and then let's go ahead and walk around over here. Now there are still some bugs with the game. It seems like they take a step forward, and sometimes they end up taking a step back or two. There was an update, even though it says 1.17 up above in the upper right hand corner. This is actually 1.18. I'm not sure why it's still showing as 1.7. I'm guessing that's just an error on their part, but this is 1.18. Let's take a look at our progress sheet. So we've got one part that hasn't been discovered on the brake system, so we'll go ahead and pull these things off and see if that solves it, and it does. So it was that drum wheel cylinder. All right, so let's go ahead and take off some of this rusty exhaust stuff and see if that solves our problem with the exhaust, and it does. So there we go. All right, so we will go over here to our repair table, and this is part of where some of the bugs are, unfortunately. But let's just go ahead and try to repair everything as best as we can. That will save the customer a little bit of money and possibly save us some as well. So we'll go ahead and put ourselves back into part mount mode, and then the minimum requirements for this job is 55%. So we'll go ahead and put this guy on there, and let's see if our brake shoes, if we were able to remanufacture those, and we were, and so the drum is at 74%, and we'll go ahead and slap the tire back on here as well, because it's good to go. All right, just like that, and then we'll kind of magically flow our way over here. Now I know I need a brake cylinder, so we'll go ahead and go in and grab brakes and grab this guy here, and go ahead and throw him on there because that the other one was bad. And then brake shoes, those remanufactured just fine, and then the brake drum is also okay, and we'll go ahead and throw the wheel back on there. Hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful day. If you, do you have Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 yet? And if not, then why not? What are you waiting for? Yes, I have said that there are some bugs, but I do believe that the game is very much playable. And let's see, we need a rear muffler, a V8 overhead valves, and we need a middle muffler. So let's go ahead and pull up our muffler shop here, and let's see, exhaust. We need a middle muffler right there for $110, and then I've already forgot what we need here, and that is a rear muffler V8 overhead valve. And of course, I just want to remind you, we can use the list feature, which is really kind of cool, and that will pull that up into our list, and then we can expand our shopping list over here, and that way we can kind of see what we want. And we can also use the search. I don't mind using the search. As a matter of fact, I enjoy using the search quite a bit. Rear muffler V8 overhead valves right there for $135. All right, so let's go ahead and get these guys installed. And they go on bada bing, bada boom, just like that. All right, so let's go ahead and get started back on the front situation here. So brake caliper ventilated, 71%. This is kind of what I mean. 71% is the brake disc ventilated status. We've got a minimum status of 55% to match on this vehicle, but yet we're going to use that brake disc, but yet we're going to put brand new brand new brake pads on this ride. So it does kind of to that respect, it does kind of bug me just a little bit, because again, if I were this guy, and of course I understand that everybody has different money situations and everything, and it's just possible that this particular customer, if we want to sort of role play this or whatever, it's just possible that this particular customer just doesn't have the money to do the full job, to do the full brake job. But it's just odd that that's what is ending up happening in times two, because putting that on two different front brakes. So anyway, so put the tires back on, tires and wheels, and let's see, what else do we need to do? Do we need to do anything else? That's all good. That's all good. I think that we're pretty much done with this job. So we will just go ahead and let this guy off the rack. Yep, this car has looks like it's seen its better days. But hey, with the work that we've put into it, $657 on the customer's part, $397 in parts. So you know, it'll get him on down the road a little ways there. So we'll go ahead and finish the order there. So this guy here came in next, and we can kind of look and take a look at what our orders are here. Let's see, is there anything else we might want to do? I think that probably 3 vehicles is probably going to be all that this episode is going to include. Now, we've opened up the warehouse. Now, the cool thing about the warehouse, and there is a bug, I think, with this, because yesterday, when I was playing the game, it was, I guess we get more warehouses later down the road, but this list was full, and I was scrolling down and trying to do things at the very bottom of the list, and it wouldn't let me. It kept popping back up. It kept scrolling back up to the top, and I couldn't get to the items down here at the bottom. Now, arguably, it was a very long list, and the other issue is that there seems to be some issues with their sorting. The recommendation has been to sort from best condition to worst condition. Right now it sorts from worst condition to best condition, so obviously all your good stuff is always going to be at the bottom of the list, so that's kind of a problem there. Also, you may notice that I've got a little bit of background music playing in the background. That is compliments of the built-in radio, wherever that is. I think it's over here on the counter over here, and it is working now in the game, and I can play this music because this is all as a matter of fact, you might recognize some of the tunes that's playing. They are from the same site where I use a lot of my royalty-free music for my introductions and my intros and outros here on the channel. So anyway, let's take a look and see what's going on with here. We've got a loud exhaust situation, so another exhaust thing. So let's just go ahead and climb into the hood here and take a look and make sure that, yep, most likely it's going to be the exhaust manifold is going to be one culprit. So we'll go ahead and pull the cover off, and that will, of course, reveal the exhaust manifold. And we'll go ahead and pull it off as I try to get a little bit better camera view for you. So that guy's gone. So let's see, we will need to go ahead and lift the car up. And because we're not 6 inches tall, we need to go ahead and lift it on up again. That is a new feature with Car Mechanic Simulator 18, that you can basically lift the car up, you know, about 6 inches, foot off the ground or something like that, if you just need to do brakes, wheels, things like that. And so that is kind of cool. So all right, so looking at things here, let's just kind of take a look at our order. Yeah, we've got 3 things, and I see basically 3 things that are quite rusty. So we will go ahead and pull these off, and wow, I've got such a long reach there, don't I? So that should pretty much meet all of our requirements, and it does. So we need a rear muffler for an i4 and front exhaust section, and something else that I can't remember already. So rear muffler for an i4, rear muffler i4 right there, that one guy. Let's go ahead and get that, and we'll see if once again if we can do our long reach install there. Sort of phone that in. There we go. And then we need a front exhaust section. So that should be pretty straightforward here. Front exhaust section, just a standard front exhaust section, and a lot of different options here. Front exhaust section by itself right there. So that's cool. We'll go ahead and get that on there, and 100% there. All right, so we can basically escape out of that mode and let our car down. So I don't know what you guys think, but I sort of think that you know, I'm gonna say that I quite enjoy this game. I quite enjoyed Car Mechanic Simulator. I quite enjoyed Car Mechanic Simulator 15, and I'm enjoying the heck out of Car Mechanic Simulator 18. True enough. But I'm sort of thinking that maybe the leveling and everything, the grind is just maybe. Let's see, exhaust manifold. We need to. I'll finish this thought in just a minute. So bear with me. Exhaust manifold, I4. Exhaust manifold, I4, right there. That guy, $36. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I might even have $36 in cash on me right now. I almost never carry cash. I don't know about you, but since living in the day and age of debit cards, I almost never carry cash, but I do have a little bit of cash in my wallet now. Anyway, so I think this is another job well done here. Let's look at the car status, and it is $556. So this has been some pretty inexpensive orders that we have done for our customers, but I'm sure that they have really appreciated it. Care for a drink of water? We'll try to get that cleaned up. That looks a bit old there. So let's take a look at this one here, our third car. We're about 16 minutes in, so we'll have time to do this car. Transmission not responsive, so this is most likely going to be clutch pressure plate, throwout bearing, that kind of stuff. So we'll move this car over to lifter A, and then we'll mosey on over there. So I don't know, what I was saying is that the grind I enjoy the grind because you learn a lot, and trust me, I had not played Car Mechanic Simulator 15 in probably 4 or 5 months. Farm Sim has been sort of dominating what I have been doing of recent, and I need to see, do we need to pull the starter off from above the car, under the car. Alright, so let's go ahead and lift this up. I like the grind because the grind does basically get you reacquainted with things, gets you reacquainted with all the processes and everything that you need to do. And you may notice just from the first episode to maybe this episode, and I'm certainly not an expert at this game or really any game. You know, I don't profess to be a professional video gamer. I'm a professional IT guy, and I enjoy, where are we? Sometimes it's difficult to get your orientation right after you've had a mishap like that. Anyway, I don't profess to be a professional video gamer or any of that kind of stuff, but the grind is fun because it does teach you things. That's why, you know, like with Farm Sim, and with any games, I say there's no right or wrong way to play the games. There is not. Absolutely not. However you want to do it. There are some cheats for Car Mechanic Simulator 2018, so if you want to sort of go all the way to the top, then you can certainly do that. But I think that you should work through some of the grind at least, and whether you go as deep as I have at level 21 and continue, I plan to go all the way to level 30. 30 is when everything opens up to us where we can do full car restorations and do them at 100%. So that is what my goal is. I'm 9 levels away from that. But the grind is fun. Let's just check our status here. I think we're going to need, we're going to need all of that. So we'll just go ahead and do our order right quick, and then I'll once again finish talking. So we need a flywheel, we need a throwout bearing, we need a clutch pressure plate, and we need the clutch plate itself, because these cannot be repaired. Alright, so we'll throw these things back on. So the grind is fun. I know I've said that like a million times now, but I do sort of think that you know, it would be nice if there were a couple of different changes to how the game was sort of laid out and how you were rewarded for things. So as an example, you open up the garage expansion through levels, through XP levels, okay? I kind of think that should be done with money, don't you? because I mean that's kind of how it's done in the real world. This is a simulator. It's got the word simulator in Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. It's got simulator in the name. So I don't know a mechanic, and I've known some mechanics in my life, and I know some mechanics even to this day. I don't know a mechanic that exists in the world today which has basically been able to expand his or her garage based on experience. Yeah, with experience comes money. That is true. That is very true. But it requires money. Oh, drive shaft, drive shaft. All right. That was our one and only boo-boo for this episode. We forgot to put the drive shaft back on. I'm sitting here on my soapbox about things and just forgetting to do my job. I have one job, and that is to repair this car, and I'm just sitting here jabbering away and making mistakes. So that's one thing. I really think that that you should expand your garage based on money, not based on experience. Yes, it is true that while you increase your experience, your money will follow. That is true. That's a very true statement. But I think that it should be done via money. The second thing is that perhaps, and this is just my opinion, but before we opened up this extra garage expanse here, we had also opened up this test path facility. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm sort of thinking that maybe a small-time mechanic shop, like what we were before we opened up this expansion, would have probably had the capabilities of doing body repair before they invested in a high-tech test path equipment and space and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, maybe even also including a paint booth before they would even go this way. In other words, I know a lot of shade tree mechanics who have the ability to do body work as well as full engine overhauls and full car restorations, and they don't have access to a test path. So maybe that is something that is a little bit out of order. Let's see, what else can I say here in the remaining minutes that we have of this episode? So anyway, those are my recommendations, what I would change about the game. I also wish that there were AI workers here in the garage. Now, obviously, maybe in the low levels when you just have one shop or one lifter, maybe it's just you're an independent mechanic. But I think as we get, say, into this level where we have a second lifter now definitely it comes in handy for stacking and staging our repairs and stuff. But I would think that it would be cool to have AI. Now, I would be okay if I actually didn't see the AI, the little guy standing around doing things. That would be okay. That might be a little bit of a stretch to program that in. But I would like to see the ability to accept a job. So basically accept a job, bring a job into the facility, and then be able to say, okay, we're going to send this job to lifter B, and we're going to assign AI to work on that. So obviously the game itself knows what's wrong with these cars, and so after a period of time, maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe it varies due to the complexity of the repair. But basically a few minutes later, let's say 5 minutes or 10 minutes later, the automobile is repaired fully. The AI lowers the vehicle down. We, as the shop owner, would come up to it, basically certify that everything is good to go, and then basically send the job out, send the car out with the customer. Maybe the AI could also have varying levels of experience. So maybe we assign them some of the basic stuff like oil changes in the beginning, oil and filter changes, and then maybe some brakes, things like that. Maybe sometimes they they make a little mistake or whatever, but that would be the opportunity to basically to ramp up your cash and everything. While you're rebuilding a car over here on this lifter, your AI is working on a car doing an oil change or something over here. It's not going to be, maybe it's not going to bring in a whole lot, and yes, factor in salaries and all that kind of stuff into the mix as well. Again, if you're going to call yourself a simulator, then let's simulate stuff as it relates to the real world. What do you guys think? Tell me below in the comments of the video. Also check out my Discord channel. All the links are down below as well. I'd love to have you over there. You can interact with me almost on a daily basis. I'm logged into Discord quite a bit throughout the day. If you have questions or just want to say hi, that's a good place to catch me. Until next time, thank you so much for watching the grind here on the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel. We'll get a few more grind videos out for you as we continue to move up our XP to the point where we can do some full car restorations and go to the auction and go to the barns and stuff like that. We can do those things now, but we can't do a full restoration to 100%, so I'd rather not do it. If I can't do it 100% because I can't do body work and I can't paint, then I don't want to do them. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. God bless you all. Bye-bye.